So I've asked each one of the storytellers the same question, which is, why do you love New York? And our first storyteller, and please give him an extra round of applause because it's always a little bit harder to go first, said why he loved New York is he's Italian, it's about the food. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Fasano. Right. Fasano, Bob Fasano. Sorry.
Good evening. Okay, we got to do this, right? Okay, my name is Bob Fasano. All right. I'm a New York City firefighter. On 9/11, in the morning, I was driving towards the Twin Towers on the expressway, and I was actually able to see one of the planes hit one of the towers. I was doing one of my side jobs. I got to the side job, and it just happened the big guys I was working with were all city firefighters. We found out that the towers were struck. We did a thing called a recall. The New York City called a recall, which means all firefighters, EMS, police officers had to get to their fire stations, police stations, whatever they had to do, they had to get there as soon as possible. So what I wound up doing is I drove right to my firehouse to pick up my gear. I picked up my gear. While there, I was told that by the chief, we're going to meet at one of the parks. And when we got there was about 6 buses, 5, 6 buses. They were loaded with people. The people couldn't go anywhere because all tunnels and bridges were shut down by this time. So what we did is we asked them to get off the buses. The bus drivers asked if we wanted them to drive the buses. And we said, no, we're going to take them. We don't know what we're going into, so please get off the bus. We loaded it up, probably to the max. As many firefighters as you could get on each bus without gear, we got on. We drove. On the expressway, we came over to Brooklyn Bridge. When we came over to Brooklyn Bridge, it was kind of like a weird sight. There was people walking over, thousands and thousands of people were walking over. And I said walking, not running, because nobody was running, nobody was pushing. Everybody was helping each other out. I saw people carrying each other, and I actually saw a woman. She was in a shopping cart. All right, this black woman who was in a shopping cart. And it was the funniest thing. These 2 white guys were just trying to push her over the bridge. I also saw people on piggybacks, 2 people carrying, people just with the arms around each other, just helping each other over. At one point, you could actually look at it and it looked like if you were doing a fundraiser, doing a walk, a cancer walk or something, that's how the people were going. That was okay. That was great to see these people, New Yorkers, doing the right thing. Then the part that scared us was, I guess they saw our helmets. We have a odd-shaped helmet. And when they did that, they all kind of turned to their left. And they started to cheer, and they started to clap. When they did that, it gave you kind of like an eerie feeling. Coming from a Marine Corps background with my dad and my son and stuff, it was like the Marines were landing somewhere, and everybody was cheering that the Marines were coming in. Basically, the way I felt was, oh shit, I think we're in trouble. I kind of said that out, but I also used a few other words. The other guys on the bus said, yeah, Bob, I don't know what we're going into, but these people think we could help them. I had experience working at 1010, the firehouse over here, and I knew there was really nothing once the building came down. We weren't going to do a lot. I worked pretty much for about 18 hours. And I came back every day. If not, I was at a funeral or work. A couple of days after that, I came in to work. I was off. I guess about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, I grabbed my gear. I came in. And as I was walking in, there was a civilian. There's a lady. Nothing special about her, my height, black hair. The only thing I remember was she had a purple blouse on. She had the purple blouse that looked like she was going to work, not to work with us. I looked at her like all firefighters do. If there's a lady, you're going to smile. We smile, we say hello, and we continued on. I don't know when, but a couple hours later, I was told by one of the chiefs to check out one of the surrounding buildings and see how the building is, if there's anybody in there, anybody needs help or whatever. And I was walking around, and who do I see? The lady in purple. I'm like, what the hell is she doing in here? I got gear on, I got lights on, and she's walking around. So I said to her, I said, what are you doing here? She said, I'm looking for coffee urns, anything I can make, tea, water, anything. I said, well, first of all, you got to get out of here. You can't stay. It's unsafe. You know, you got half the building down. I said, I knew where the kitchen was because I already went through there. I knew they had some stuff. I said, do me a favor, go out the door, and I'll meet you out there. I got what I could. I put it on a cart, and I walked the cart out, and I gave it to her. Pretty much, I'm gone. Went off to find something else to do. A little while later, I'm in another building. Same thing. It's dark, broken glass all over, beams, everything's broken down. And who do I see? I find a lady in purple again. I'm like, all right, this lady's crazier than I am. I'm walking by myself. I look at her, and I said, what are you doing? I'm looking for blankets. I'm looking for anything that can make the guys coming back out of the field, off the pile, to get comfortable. I said, you know the story. Get out. I'll get what I can. And I did. I found some stuff, some cushions and stuff like that. Gave her everything I could. I disappeared. I went on the pile. I can't really tell you how long I was on the pile because I can't tell you a lot what happened over the months. But I was there for a long time. I hooked up with guys from 317, 165, and a couple other companies I worked with, and worked all day. We probably did a good 18, 20-hour day. After a while, I looked at them, they looked at me, and were like, hey, guys, we're done. We're spent. You couldn't even move your arms, walking in the boots and everything else. You're like, okay, you're really tired. Let's get the hell out of here, see if we can find a way back to Queens. When we try to get there, we're walking out, and we see this lady. She's got a coat on. She's shoveling into a wheelbarrow. She's sweeping. And there ain't a firefighter that doesn't think he's macho, and you can't have a woman doing something you can't do. So what we had to do is go help the lady. And we did. Walked over to the lady. Next thing I know is the lady has the purple blouse on. I'm like, definitely, I'm not leaving. I know she got here when I got here. All right. I went to take the shovel. I probably picked up one. I went to do another. I couldn't move my arms anymore. One of the other brothers, he was there trying to sweep. He just couldn't sweep. The part that I knew we were done is the biggest guy in the group tried to move the wheelbarrow, and he couldn't even lift it. I'm like, all right. We looked at each other. We're like, nah, we're done. We're burnt. There's nothing left in us. She looked at us and said, okay, guys, I got a spot for you. And basically where I'm standing, she moved us over against the wall. She said, it's clean, relax. Okay, Mom. She takes off. She says, stay there. She takes off. She gets us some water, some cookies or whatever to eat, and she brings it back over to us. When she brought it back over to us, I got up, and I had to say it. I said, I just want to let you know, I really love you. I gave her a big hug, a big kiss. Then we had to get our way back. I never seen her again after that. All I remember was the black hair, plain face, and the purple blouse. And basically that's it.